Let's now get into our special coverage this World AIDS Day, 40 years after the first case was detected in Kenya. And as things stand, there are about 1.4 million people living with HIV, which means Kenya has the 7th highest epidemic globally, and that is behind South Africa, India, Mozambique, Tanzania, Nigeria, and Zambia. The prevalence rate is 3.3%. If you're wondering what prevalence means, it means that out of every 100 Kenyans, 3 have HIV. Let's take a look now at the number of new infections in 2023, and the number is more than 16,700 new infections. Most of them, about 8,900 affecting women and 4,000 among men. Now, 73% of that figure accounts for adolescents and youth, young adults aged between 15 and 34. Now, there were 20,400 AIDS-related deaths last year, approximately, an increase of 2,000 from the year before that. It's also worth noting that while males account for 35% of all people living with HIV, close to half of all AIDS-related deaths occur among men. Now, let's take a look at what the situation is in the counties. And as of 2022, 58% of people living with HIV were domiciled in 10 counties, leading Kisumu, followed by Homa Bay, Migori, Siaya, Nairobi, Nakuru, Mombasa, Kiambu, Kakamega, and Kisii. So these account for 58% of persons living with HIV. At this point, let me hand it back over to you, Jeff.
That's right. Thanks so much for that, Olive. Now, Sorfina Achieng Ouma takes a deeper look at the statistics by the National Syndemic Disease Control Council, where Kisumu County bears the highest burden with a prevalence rate which is more than 3 times the national average. Take a listen.
The latest numbers depict a great geographical disparity nationally, with Kisumu County topping the list with the highest prevalence rate of 11.7%, which is more than 3 times the national prevalence of 3.3%. Over 135,000 people are living with HIV in Kisumu County, ranking it high, not just in the leading Nyanza region, but among all counties nationally, followed by Homa Bay County with 109,786 people, Migori with over 106,000, and Siaya County, which has 93,368 persons living with HIV. Other counties like Busia, Mombasa, Nairobi, Uasin Gishu, Kisii and Nyamira are among the top 10 with a prevalence rate ranging between 3.5% and 5%. Only 7 counties, mostly in the arid and semi-arid region, had a prevalence rate of below 1%, with Wajir County having the lowest rate at 0.1%. And while there has been a steady decline of new HIV infections in the last decade from 101,448 in 2013 to 16,752 in 2023, an alarming trend is picked among adolescents and young adults aged between 15 to 34 years, who contributed to 73% of all new adult HIV infections in 2023. It is also noteworthy that 51% of the new infections occurred in only 9 counties, including Nairobi, Kisumu, Nakuru, Migori, and Homa Bay. Despite the grim statistics, notable progress has been made in HIV response, with 1.3 million people living with HIV now on ART, a 14% increase in condom use, and 97% rate attained in identification and treatment targets. International viral suppression rate is currently at 94%, with the adoption of pre-exposure prophylaxis currently standing at 61%. HIV among children remains a major concern, with 63% of the cases resulting from mother-to-child transmission. The HIV mother-to-child transmission rate stood at 7.3% in 2023, which is way above the national average of less than 5%. This may have been influenced by the steady drop in antenatal clinic attendance from 96% in 2021 to 88% in 2023, mostly among pregnant teen girls aged between 10 to 19 years. Safin Acheng Oma, Citizen TV.